Alright, so I figure it's probably about time for an update. It is super hot. I think the heat index is about 103 today. Ooh, I got some messed up here. Well, I have almost completed work on the bed platform. The idea that I had for the bed platform was to have a lounge slash desk area underneath it. And so what I would do with it is have it escalate, or elevate, rather probably be a better word. So the bed will be elevating from about 3.5 to 4 feet down from the ceiling all the way up to where the bed actually hits the ceiling. And the way I'll be doing that is underneath the center, the very center of the bed, I'll be mounting an electronic winch, a 2,000-pound winch. There's a 1,000-pound winch. I can't really find the 1,000-pound winch, which is on the super cheap end, with the up-down toggle, which is, I mean, the cheaper they are, the less likely they are to actually have one of those toggles. So I got one that's the 2,000-pound winch with an up-down toggle. I'm just going to mount that somewhere, probably on the bed itself, and then enclose the bed, because what I'd like to do is sound buffer the upper end of the bed so I can have my editing studio below it. These outer bars here are essentially to keep the bed on. They're 2x2s. This one's actually a 1.5 by 2 inch or a 1.5 by 1.75 inch beam, whereas the other ones are all 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. And so this one would be actually facing the front of the cab where I'll hop onto it. This one I figure will have the most budge room, most wiggle room when I hit the brakes and stuff, because the back is really, I mean, it backs up against the back wall, so it really has no place to go. But I put one of those support beams or one of those guide beams in the rear anyway, just to make sure it just doesn't wiggle a whole lot. And then there's shorter ones at either end here. It wasn't that complicated to put it together. It's just really hard by myself. So it's a very simple support system underneath. I've got two 2x4s going on either side, and I've got 3 going this way. As far as the platform itself, I took 3/4 inch plywood, which is nice and heavy. You can actually walk on it like, I mean, it's what they use for flooring. And what I could have done was used all 4 feet of one and then 22 inches of another, but what I wanted was the most equal amounts support on either side in the event that there are 2 people in bed. But essentially I wanted to distribute the support evenly throughout the entire bed. So I cut, the bed itself is 60 inches wide, and I have 1.5 inches on either side, totaling 63 inches. Half of which is 31.5, so I've got 31.5 inch sections of vertical plywood, which left me this L-shaped cut here. So I'm basically wasting this much unless I can use it for something else. It's 3/4 inch plywood's not found anywhere else in here, so I might just be scrapping it. But the entire purpose for buying it was for this bed, so I don't really consider that a loss. Alright, so I finally got, and the phone rings. Okay. Alright, take 2. So I finally got the bed platform on the bus, and as I suspected, it needed to be taken apart. I thought I'd get lucky. I thought I did some pretty decent calculations on the twist of it once you get it in and twist it into place. But it did not happen the way I hoped it would do. Luckily, I didn't try that hard until I realized it was just a moot point. I was just going to have to go through taking the thing apart and putting it back together on the bus. But it's okay. It didn't take too long, and it looks like I did not lose any of my angles. So currently it's sort of propped up, waiting for the base to be placed on the passenger side. And once that's down, I'll put the base on the driver's side. The base itself, the 4-legged base, and the cross beam that links both of those together will delineate the top of the couch and the back area of the desk. So I haven't been able to finish either of those, or at least the upper half of those, without having the platform in here. So everything's kind of been waiting on something else to be done. But once that's in here, it's in here. So it didn't take me long to get it here. It was just a bit complicated. I planned ahead and put the base on a skateboard and then climbed up on the bus and pulled it toward me and then got it up onto the bus and took everything out of the way in preparation to get it here. Then when I turned the corner, made it all the way back to the back, no problem. And then realized that it wasn't going to make the turn. So in any case, it's here. I guess I'll see what I do next with it. All right, so it's climbing up on about 10 p.m. It's taken me all day to do this, but I finally got the bed where it's supposed to be. It's currently just sitting here on gravity. I've got the 2 posts that are eventually going to be the main load-bearing supports on this back end here. And underneath, I've actually mounted to the wall and the couch brackets where it's going to sit. Like when it's done, it's 40 inches from the floor, 40 and 13/16 inches actually, and this is where it's going to be. It's super convenient too because the couch comes out just enough so I can actually step up and just hop right on in bed. That is awesome. And I didn't plan it, but I knew there would be some overhang. I was hoping that, you know, something would be of use. It has more or less changed my plans for what I'm going to do with the couch itself. I'm just going to bolt the couch down. I'm not going to have it on hinges to come up. I'm just going to leave the front open access basically, and just slide my crates in and out of there. I mean, it's custom built for the crates and to hold my tripods, light stands, bulbs, etc., all in kind of like enclosed pockets. And so yeah, the bed will be here. I have positioned the main joists beside it to where I'll actually bolt 2 wheel sections coming out this way and 2 wheel sections coming out that way that rides up on those joists and keeps it pressured. It keeps pressure both this way, and on this side it'll keep pressure this way and then in as well. So I've got just enough room to do all of that. I've got about 2.5 inches between the passenger side wall and the driver's side wall. Just enough. I'm not kidding. Just enough to do with it what I wanted to originally do, which is to make this pressured wheelbase system. So I've also got just enough room on either side of the joists to send the cable down, which will connect to the bolt, connect to the studs that are connected to the framing, and that will hold the cable, which will, this one sort of piling of cable is just going to be stationary, while the other one, while the pulley itself mounted to each corner of the bed does the actual rolling of the bed to elevate it, allowing me to put the winch itself on the underside of this. It took me a long time to figure out where to put that winch. I didn't want it in the headspace. I didn't want it in the center of the floor in the middle, but I needed it in the center of something, because when the winch cranks in any direction, it pulls the cables at a certain length. So if these cables are shorter in length than these cables, meaning if I mounted it on this wall, this one would raise quicker than this one, and it would be lopsided. So they needed to be center to maintain a center balanced weight. Having said that, the only way to keep all 4 sides going up at the same time is probably going to be a series of trial and error, measuring out the length of each cable, because the cable is potentially going to break off into 2 instead of sending all 4 cables back to the winch. It may work out that I can just very easily send all 4 cables. I'd love it if it worked out that way, but I don't want to put too much tension on the cables themselves. Not necessarily tension, but too many angles. I just don't want to bend the cable in too many different ways before it actually meets its final mounted stud. So what's up? I am totally spent. I'm gonna go jump in the pool, and then I'm gonna sit around on the deck for a little while and take in everything that I've done today, and then I'm gonna shower, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And then I'm gonna get up tomorrow and mount the rest of this all the way, and probably even put the guide rails on throw the mattress back in the plastic and then throw the mattress on here just so it's not in the house, because it was a foam mattress. I had to deflate or inflate it, let it re-inflate from its compressed bag, so to speak, and kind of stinks. So you gotta give it about 72 hours to air out. So really, it's just taking up floor space at the moment. Put it in the plastic, throw it on here, get it out of the house, and I mean, it's not gonna put too much more weight on this thing that isn't already there. I'm just hoping to keep the sawdust off of it. We'll see how that goes.
Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. If so, be sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Construction on the tiny home is actually complete, so visit kyleodonnell.com/blog to binge watch the build. You'll not only read my personal journals during construction, you'll also see videos covering everything from solar installation and transforming bedrooms to wiring your electronics and off-grid plumbing.